Alright, hello. Let's just quickly make sure that everything looks a-okay. Yeah, that looks fine. Hello and welcome to Night Rides. It is I, Jax Wolf. I am here today with Hello Cryptic. Say hello, Cryptic. And of course, Benjamin. Benjamin has recently gotten his monthly bath, so he's actually chilling behind me by the fan just to dry off. But he's here. You also see virtual Benjamin on the screen, as always. But if this is your first time attending Night Rides, the honeycomb laptop in the background is cute. Thank you. I have worked hard at making my setup in, this is, for those curious, this is Spirit Sea Lo-Fi Sessions. I have spent entirely too much time making sure that my entire place is bee-themed, or at least very pastel and bee-themed. There's that. Let me see if I can give you a full view. That is the full kitchen right there. I don't want to flip around, but that is what the full setup in the back looks like. And I have not done much with the train, but there's at least that. Anyway, that is the full tour so far. But anyway, if you're new to Night Rides, welcome. This is the usual spiel. If you are not new, you can just tune out for like 5 minutes while I explain. Night Rides is a chill writing hangout where if you click the link that goes that will take you off to YouTube where we have an open chat. The open chat is indeed open. You can say whatever you'd like with it, within reason. Please do not violate YouTube TOS. Please do not be weird to each other. And I do not want to ban people, and I do not want my channel to get banned. Anyway, type things into the chat and I will read them aloud and respond to them, and that is the social aspect of it. If you are shy, which many writers are, there is always going to be an icebreaker. Today's icebreaker is pretty simple. It's what's your favorite writing spot look like? So describe where you usually are whenever you feel like you do the most writing. For me, it's a coffee shop of any kind. I'm usually there with either my portable word processor from like 2005 with it, which has absolutely no connection to the internet, or I'm with a book or a journal and pens, whichever works, whatever I feel like doing. But what's yours look like? That said, at 9 o'clock on the dot, that is less than 30 minutes from now, we will begin the first of 3 word sprints. Now, these are word sprints in name only. Traditionally, a word sprint is a set amount of time in which you do as much as possible. Again, according to tradition, that is writing. At the very end, you take a break and you state how many words that you wrote during that time period. But we like to take things a little bit looser here. You can do literally whatever you like during those 20 minutes, whether that's just sitting and actually writing, or editing, or plotting, or if you want to do something a little bit more esoteric, usually we have somebody doing laundry. That's usually Cryptic, actually. We've also had people who have actually eaten, or they just hang out, chill, take a nap, do some other creative pursuit. Whatever you'd like to do in those 20 minutes, so long as you continuously do it for 20 minutes, at the very end, when it comes time, your word count, quote unquote, is just saying whatever you did there during that 20 minutes. We're very supportive here. We will cheer you on regardless, so long as you do something during that 20 minutes. Then we will take a break. You can see in the bottom left-hand corner of your screen, there's a timer that tells you exactly how long each of these are. So the actual sprint will be 20 minutes. The breaks will generally be 15 minutes unless I happen to go off on a huge tangent and then stop the clock for some reason. That is going to be very, very rare with Spirit Sessions up. That is the benefit of having Spirit City. But generally speaking, those 15 minutes between sprints is for you to get up and stretch, take care of business, get more water, just take care of yourself so that you're away from the computer and you actually give yourself a break. We do not want you to burn out here. Then at the end of that break, we start on the next sprint, and we do 3 sprints in total. So that is 3 20-minute sessions with 15 minutes in between. At the very end of the 15 minutes, we'll just wrap up, and you'll get to hear about what's the plan for the rest of the week, whether or not there will be special stuff and whatnot. So that said, Cryptic says, "Oh wow, that is incredible," to the tour. Thank you very much. But feel free to say hello. Usually this first half an hour is just for shooting the breeze and letting people trickle in and say hi. I admit I'm a little bit more run down than usual. And this is for several different reasons. Number one, I did not get out of bed until 2:30 in the afternoon today, and that is entirely my fault. So it's been a wild bit of time since you last saw me. The last stream was on Saturdays. Also, if you're new to this, we do 2 sessions per week, 2 guaranteed sessions. The first one is on. The first one is the one that you're on right now, so that is Wednesday at 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. That's at night. And the second one is Saturday morning, 8:30 a.m. at 8:30 a.m. So basically 12-hour difference. Swap. I don't know, time swap. I don't know how you would say that, but anyway. So the last time I did stream, I was here with you, and then basically what happened is on Sunday, a friend talked me out into going out, and the idea was that we were going to go just hang out, and it turned into I wound up crashing at his place. Get your mind out of the gutter. He's just a friend. It was supposed to be that we were going to do writing, but then he didn't feel like writing, so we wound up going to this game place. It's called Brooklyn Strategist. So if you're in the Brooklyn area, it's this cool little place where you can go and you reserve time and you can play. They have all these board games that you can play for free so long as you play or pay for your time there. They also have supplies for D&D, all kinds of things. So it turned out there was a tournament. So we trudged back through the cold and the slight snow back to his place, and we wound up playing like Baldur's Gate until ass o'clock. No, actually, wait. We stopped by a bar. I wound up knitting. I'm telling you the entire story of this weekend, but it's like a whole bunch of small things that wound up with me staying over, and then more D&D, Brooklyn Strategist, then trudging home for a shower, then barely sleeping that night because I had to apparently install WoW so that I can get dragged into his guild. I love him dearly, but dang, he basically ran me into the ground for those couple of days, and then on the day after, I went to the Museum of Modern Art because I had promised Benjamin that I would take him. And that does sound like I'm blaming him, but I really did enjoy going for myself, really. Because I didn't go just for Benjamin, although it was quite fun to go around and pretend to be like, hey, here are all my favorite paintings. I am teaching my small bee child about art. He did get to see Starry Night. I even went so early. I think I got in. I actually entered the museum at like 11 o'clock, and the museum opens at 10:30. So the earlier you go, the less crowds you have. So I managed to get like right directly in front, like at the rope that separates you from the painting, and directly in front. So that's why I have that really nice shot of it on my blue sky. But also, I got to have Benjamin take a look at it. I There's also like Le Voyage dans la Lune or Le Lune, which is to translate Voyage to the Moon by George Méliès, which I definitely murdered right there, Méliès, uh, who is a pioneer in film, and it's the iconic shot of you know how there's that frowny moon face in space, and it's like a Victorian kind of shot. If you're into music, you know the Smashing Pumpkins did their entire music video based on this for Tonight based on this old timey film. That's where it comes from. Uh, but it's a very short film. It's only like 60 minutes long, and it's so funny. And it's in the same room as Starry Night. So you look at Starry Night, you look at another Van Gogh work, which is right next to it. That Cypress. I forget which Cypress painting it is. I'm embarrassed to admit. And then you turn around and you go watch Voyage to the Moon, and it's great. But that's not the only thing. Like it is. I love MoMA so much. It is 5 floors packed full of art from the late 1890s all the way up to today. So you get a little bit of everything. You get history, uh, both European history and American history. You have culture. You have all kinds of subversive art and all this expression and the vibes of every single era that you walk into. It's so just absolutely incredible. There are so many pieces that just sort of stick with you. And right now, they're actually doing a couple of different exhibits. One that's dedicated to art from Africa. So it's not really art from Africa. It's more like photography from Africa during the. I'm trying to. Because it wasn't just one country, and it wasn't exactly one time period, but it was all about independence. So it's various countries and how they gained independence and how they flourished from there and how their culture flourished. Like, there's an entire photo set that chronicles. It's only a sample of this one photo set because the actual full photo set is thousands and thousands of images of all these hairstyles that came about. I want to say it was after the Nigerian independence, but it's showing how the people of that country just flourished once colonial rule ended, and it's absolutely amazing. There's also an entire exhibit dedicated to Wilfred Lam, who is a Caribbean artist, originally Cuban, and it walks us through his entire career. But there are so many different influences from Haiti, from the various this coastal South America, just all these different things that express transformation and freedom, and it's also amazing. And then there's on the very top floor there's Ruth Asawa, who is a Japanese artist, a Japanese American artist actually, who had been based in San Francisco. Unfortunately, she died in the mid 2010s. She basically revolutionized in a lot of interior designs. Like if you've ever seen certain design elements like the chevron, or not really like she didn't invent the chevron. She invented this kind of style that incorporated it into wall art. And she did wireframe sculptures that are made of coiled wire. And these you would think are like ubiquitous to 1960s art, and that was her. But she also did a lot of work concerning the memorialization of Japanese internment and the victims of Japanese internment, because she herself was a victim of the Japanese internment. And it makes you kind of like think about all these exhibits together, plus the subversive art that's already there. There's a lot of South American work, especially in South American and Native American work, especially in the lower floors that are dedicated more towards the present period, that talk about how essentially we've colonized all these areas and how we've treated people who are other than us, and how the problems that we're currently facing today are just repeats of what we've done throughout our history. Like, putting kids in cages isn't a new thing for us, and it's absolutely terrible, but it's also absolutely important to go out and experience and learn about these things so that you fully understand, you know, this is the system that we're working with. And these are the people who have fought for ages, and these are the voices that you can listen to and potentially learn from, because these are our ancestors whenever it comes to how we navigate politics today. So these are the people who fought before us. So in other words, overall, it was a fantastic experience. The bee has been cultured. For me, it's a fantastic and political experience always, and I love going back as often as I can. It's usually just once a year or so, just because exhibits rotate. There might be exhibits that I haven't seen before, or installations that were always there that I hadn't seen before. Um, but it was also just fun, kind of like showing Benjamin something that I'm also personally passionate about. Uh, because I'm a shit artist, I fully admit that, but I very much appreciate studying art and art history and the interactions between art and culture and historical time periods, and how art lends itself, it acts as a vehicle for people's voices and so on. And also, I just like past aesthetics, like that mid-century aesthetic right there. As commercial as it is, although I will say this: fuck Andy Warhol and Roy Lichtenstein. Like the people who are like, yeah, absolutely, I have 100%. I want to commercialize art because art is meaningless and it can be mass produced. Fuck those people. But people who want to use art as a way to embody their time period, or the things that they see uh, every day and that have been an element of their world, I'm okay with those people. Like, there's this one installation where I wish I could remember the artist, but I don't. This artist had been struggling with chronic illness in the mid to late 60s, and there's an entire wall in one of the rooms that's just dedicated to this one art piece, which consists of the packaging of every single thing that he used during 1 year. And there are things like medicine boxes and tubes of juice concentrate and bags that had been for cereal and things like that. And it's supposed to highlight consumerism uh, that was exemplified during that time period, and how reliant the public had become. And that sounds familiar because we're still like going through that time period even more so now. Like, last night I was watching this one video about how TikTok influencers are going absolutely nuts about these mini pink buckets from Lowe's, and it's overconsumption. But overconsumption is a style trend these days. Like, the Starbucks Bear Cup, the pink bucket, all these videos about refilling tiny things with makeup and time use items and shit like that. Uh, but we've always kind of seen that, just in different degrees and not as well archived as it is now. And I think, yeah, now we've kind of also ramped it up because it's now a fashion statement. But then again, back in the 90s, we also had this kind of thing too, didn't we? Where everything was like 80s and 90s where it was trendy to be rich and wear brands, you know? So like it's the same shit, just different wrapping. And it will always be the same shit, different wrapping. And I think that's important to realize. But not in a way that kind of makes you feel hopeless about changing the system, more in the sense that just so that you're aware of what's going on and what this is and how culture moves from one concept to the next and how certain things come in waves. Like the overconsumption of the 80s was predicated by the environmentalism of the 90s. It's like all things are temporary. Let that give you hope, but also let it teach you, let the waves of the past teach you how to fight for the waves of the future, you know? But anyway, that was very political. But then again, art is political. Like, I think that's also kind of a little bit why I fucking hate Andy Warhol. Like, there's a. I swear I will not go overboard right now because we are just starting. But there's another wall in MoMA, and luckily it's not the entire fucking wall, but there is a piece by Andy Warhol that is the photograph of a crime scene with a body in it. And supposedly that dead body that you see in the picture is actually real. In MoMA, because Andy Warhol is a fucking shithead, or was, it, rest in piss, Andy Warhol, what he does is, or what he did back then, is he popularized the idea of silkscreen, right? So silkscreen is basically a technique where silkscreen printing is a technique where you duplicate an image over and over again using various pants and whatnot. You've seen his work before with things like the Marilyn Monroe painting, which also makes him a shithead. But in this case, there is a 4x4 grid that's just that fucking photo duplicated. And I'm like, this is the entire reason why I fucking hate you. That and the goddamn fucking Campbell soup cans. I will get on that in just a second. But the thing is, like, it for sure is an actual car crash because Andy Warhol got his start, if you didn't know, doing forensic photography. So the car wreck is definitely real. We don't know if the body is, or maybe we do, and I just don't want to look that up and have that knowledge in my brain. But so there's that. And the other reason why I say fuck you, Andy Warhol, are the fucking Campbell soup cans, because that entire Campbell soup can display, where the one where he duplicates the Campbell soup can exactly, but he changes the label because, of course. In theory, what he's doing is painting his lunch every single day for like a certain amount of time, which you think would be fine, except for the fact that the entire point of that is to capture the mundane derogatory. So, unlike Van Gogh, where Van Gogh's entire thing was capturing the mundane but in a reverent way, as in he enshrined the ordinary things that we see every day and the ordinary people that we see every day. Andy Warhol enshrined, quote unquote, enshrined his mundane and then commented about how boring and despair-inducing it is. Basically, he was doing Dilbert. That's the best way that I can describe it. Andy Warhol was painting the mind-numbing, the mind-numbing mundanity of fucking Dilbert, and I fucking hate that dude. So anyway, that is why I will respect all modern art unless it's fucking that. Like, get out of here with your pretentious fucking ass. That's literally all you're saying. Life is boring and then we die. Like, it's the whitest Holden Caulfield bullshit you've ever heard. I swear to Christ. But anyway, that is my rant about art. All art is important except Andy fucking Warhol. But anyway, it is currently 8:57. I've been talking a lot about art and politics, so that is a definite hello and good evening. That having been said, if I will give the floor to everybody else. If you're in here, thank you for listening to all that bullshit. Uh, just one second. Anyway, if you listen to my entire rant about art, thank you for listening to my entire rant about art. But also consider clicking onto the link and saying hello. If you joined before the rant about art, I am so sorry about the rant about art. Can you please tell us about your about your projects or shit like that? Just like I mean, I would be delighted to fill this remaining minute with more about how Andy Warhol can go fuck himself if he hadn't already fucking died. But I'm so disrespectful to a man who's dead. Uh, there are very few people that I would go to hell and throw hands with, but I think Andy Warhol is my biggest target. Only because every other target that could potentially be on that list, there's a line for. So, anyway. Anyway. I think what I was trying to say is it's been a busy couple of days, so we're going to see how well this is going to work out. I've been kind of like uh, out of it all day, and then I had dinner, and I now feel like absolute trash. But apparently I'm doing a-okay enough, so we'll dive right into those sprints, I suppose. But that having been said, it is 9 o'clock. Cryptic is just vibin tonight, which is totally valid. So I will be writing, and we'll see how far we get. To prep ourselves for the long road ahead, I want you all to sit up straight in your chairs and do a little breathing exercise with me. Breathe in through your nose. And then out through your mouth. One more time. And then out. Wiggle your fingers. Crack your knuckles. Shake out your arms and wrists. And there are 20 minutes on our first clock. I wish you all the best of luck. Get ready, get set, and here we go. All right, that is the first of 3. How did we do? I only did 173 words. I admit that is because, I don't know, I just remember how I said I am not feeling like I am still going to do the remaining 2, but I might break out Clara and write on her during these sprints on my couch so that I can lie down a little bit and then plug her in and have her run while we're doing breaks just to keep myself on task because I do want to write. I do want to keep going with all of this. It's just that it has been an exhausting couple of days and I haven't fully recovered. It's kind of funny because this is the first vacation I've taken in a while. It's going to be the first vacation, or the last vacation I'm going to be taking for a while. But I have basically run myself into the ground fully these past few days instead of actually relaxed. But I have nothing planned for the rest of the night. I might just do some video games after the writing session. Just something mind-numbing, or like a long hot shower and then just lying about and playing video games. That does sound like a fun time. Cryptic says, I had to ask Corey for the charger because my phone got too low. That's totally cool, and that is a thing that counts, so excellent job. But tomorrow I have nothing planned, so my plan for tomorrow really is just sort of get plenty of rest, and there are a couple of adulting tasks that I should probably do, but other than that, I've crammed all of the adulting things in today, so it's sort of like all of the grocery shopping, all of the bill paying, all of that fun stuff happened today, so that's really good of me. Except for rent, which is the thing that I will do tomorrow. I know I keep on sorting through all this stuff, but it's sort of like the point is I fully plan on just surviving tomorrow and catching up and trying to get some last rest before Friday. And then it's another weekend, and I have no plans for the weekend except for prepare because I am going out west. Starting Tuesday, I do believe. My train ticket is on Tuesday. And I will be going to visit family. So that is one thing that is worth noting. There will be Saturday will be the last stream that we'll have in a while, and then after that we're skipping 2 streams because I'm not getting back until Sunday, and it's gonna be fun. I don't know how I'm going to be doing all that. Benjamin is of course coming with me. I am right now checking on him and making sure that he is fully dry. Still has a little bit of wetness. He's so soft after his baths, I have to say. I wish you can feel him, but he's very soft and shiny right now. Anyway. Yeah, it's just one day of work, then weekend, then another day of work, and then back out, and then taking a train. So it's going to be pretty eventful. I'm already looking forward to a nice chunk of days where I do nothing. I know it sounds like lazy, but like I feel like I need more of a break to recharge. I have been working nonstop from the mid-June actually all the way up to this week, and it's been rough. It has been a lot of work. I do not have easy work at all, and it's been a lot of hammering away at things. I will say this though, things are getting kind of better. Like, it's actually kind of funny because I checked on, I always pay like the credit cards on today or on Wednesday. So today I actually had a chance to take a look at things, and my debt's lower than I thought it would be. We're getting somewhere. So it's all little by little. I keep on saying that, but it's very true. You take things a little bit at a time, and what can you say? But anyway, if anything, this the end of this year has taught me to take better care of myself, and I will take more breaks after the new year comes in and I get PTO and whatnot. And not all of it will be shuttling myself around. I just need to take more breaks and take better care of myself, because even though in the thick of the moment I thought I was fine, like when I finally have a chance to breathe, I feel kind of like death. So for sure I just kind of like need to stretch out at some point and just lie down for a bit and just let myself just recharge. So anyway, that's basically the plan. So you have that hint about what I'll say at the very end about schedules. You have my state of mind. Uh, Honestly, I don't know. Tomorrow, I don't know. I should use the last day of my vacation, the first leg of my vacation, to do something fun. Not in the city because I've already citied myself out this week, but go and write somewhere like I did on Saturday or Sunday, whenever that was. Uh, no, actually, yeah, Saturday after I took a nap, I hauled myself off to a cafe and sat down to write, which was fun. And I kind of hoped that this weekend would be a lot of that, but as was. You kind of chill out, you kind of spend time socializing. And I honestly did need to socialize a little bit too, because even though I do have people online that I talk to regularly as well, I kind of needed to get out of my hole and go see other people and interact. And I say that just because I don't know what it is about this week, but for some reason this week I have been thinking a lot about the X. Probably because it is the beginning of the fiscal year and I'm like taking inventory of all my debts and what I have, and also for some reason H&R Block, like the local H&R Block, has been harassing me to do my taxes, so that's an entire big of yikes. That's one of the things I'm sorting out tomorrow, just seeing why they keep on trying to schedule me and call me and confirm appointments I haven't scheduled. So that's interesting. But in any case, beyond that, I don't even have my W-2, so I can't even do that. It's like my company is currently going through an entire fun bit, and I really do need my W-2 at some point, but we'll see. Blah 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 stuff that I'm rambling through my work schedule and shit like that. And the main point is, like, I've been thinking about my ex a lot recently, and not in a great way. It's more like not to use this stream as free therapy as I usually do, but like when somebody you thought cared about you just ups and disappears without a trace, and then when they do it in a way that kind of made it clear, well, not really made it clear, but heavily implied that they just were with you to take advantage of you, then you kind of start thinking about everything else. And it's hard because I know that it's not true. But at the same time, I've spent a lot of my life being told that I ain't worth shit. So it's been rough. That that's kind of what growing up in abusive or neglectful relationships does to a person. Like my friends in high school were abusive physically and emotionally. Uh, a lot of my family kind of like doesn't take me seriously and doesn't listen whenever I have problems, so there's the neglect. And that kind of feeds a person into certain types of relationships where any kind of love and affection you kind of cling to, and then thing that it kind of attracts certain types of people. So you have a lot of people who are hurt and they're looking for your kindness and compassion to find comfort for themselves, or you find some people who see you as a form of stability or somebody that they can push down and make themselves feel better. Or in the case of my ex, there's the financial stability part of it. And intellectually that a lot of what that means isn't, or what a lot of what that implies isn't true. Like, you're worth something and people enjoy your company, but you're constantly looking for the reassurance and the validation and the physical company of it in order to silence the thought that, maybe you're not. So, in other words, yeah, I absolutely needed to be with other people this weekend because, like, when you enter that spiral, it's really difficult to dig yourself out and convince yourself, what he did isn't a reflection of you. And oftentimes, what folks do to you isn't a reflection of you as a person. It's a reflection of what they needed in other people and what they're willing to do to other people. So I remember there was this one time when I said, a lot of my relationships only last about 4 years before somebody just flips out and leaves, and the person I was talking to says, well, then the problem is you. And the thing is, first off, that's a really shitty thing to say, and second off, that's a really shitty thing to say. I'm really glad that I'm not in any sort of contact with that person anymore. But also, it's not always true. Sometimes you attract a certain type of person and you can't help that. It's just that your energy and the way that you carry yourself fills a niche that people who are hurt or people who are in need of something, in need of a certain type of validation, can find. So, like, it's not you, it's more like you just happen to be a shitty person magnet. And that's something that I need to remind myself of this weekend, for sure. And there were moments that I kind of like, I did feel really good about myself. And funnily enough, yes, part of that was just hanging out with a friend of mine. But also, it was just sort of like interactions with complete strangers. Like, I went to this coffee shop before I went to MoMA, and it was like one of those upscale coffee shops. It was just a block away from Radio City Music Hall, and if you don't know that area, it's full of wealthy salaried people who go to this coffee shop in suits. And, I don't mean to toot my own horn, but it's sort of like when you work food service, you enjoy it whenever somebody treats you like a human being, and there was that kind of interaction. And it's sort of like, yeah, I am capable of associating with other human beings. It's just, I shouldn't let these fun other bits convince me otherwise. That's all I'm saying. But it was certainly something that I needed to do, but now I'm kind of wiped out. So we'll see how this next round goes. Speaking of which, there it is. 20 minutes are on the clock. I am actually going to grab Clara and sit down and write, and just sort of go from there, plug it in during our next break. So, you will not see the screen moving except for the timer, but rest assured that I am working. Good luck, everybody. was not muted the entire time. That's interesting. Anyway, yes, that is our second of several words, or 3 word sprints. Jesus Christ. How did we do? And in the meantime, I am going to find a way to plug this in so that we can transfer words so that I can or actually, let me see. Does this have a word count? We're going to find out. I don't think it does. It has calculators? It has a calculator. What is this anyway? Calculator is on. I don't even have a password on this. What? Cryptic says, I've just been chilling, waiting on time to feed the cats. That is totally a-okay. Let's see about applets again. Beamer, calculate. What is Beamer? Oh, that's not what I need. And there it is. Keywords, calculator, control panel. Escape. Oh, wait, calculator. Oh. It's literally just a calculator. That's disappointing. Escape. I guess the only actual thing to do. Escape. Hold on. Yeah, I guess the only thing that I can do is actually upload these words and see what happens, which we should probably do anyway. So this will be just a moment. There we go. Just one side. Let's see, what am I not using right now? Is this... That is... This is the only downside about this particular computer. Like, why do we not have USB ports anymore? Just one second. Here we go. There is an open USB. I have a USB adapter, a USB to USB-C, and I know that one of my friends makes fun of me for being behind the times, but quite honestly, I feel like the USB ports, the fact that we don't have them anymore is an absolute fucking travesty. Anyway, here we go. You actually get to watch me sending words to the computer in real time, so that's pretty cool. Let's see, where is the send button? There is the send button. Anyway, while this is running, I'm feeling a little bit better about words. I think it was actually a really good idea to go onto the computer or go onto the couch and just write for a little bit. Because ultimately, you should do things however you feel most comfortable, I guess. But it also kind of goes into why I bought Clara in the first place. But basically, I have always had trouble, or for the past few years, I have had trouble sitting down and actually doing writing. I just work better if I'm not on a computer. If I'm on a computer, then I will be tempted to go and browse something or go down rabbit holes or whatnot, and then writing never gets done. I still do that if I just have my phone, but you know, it's easy to kind of be like, yeah, we're not doing this for the time being. We're putting the phone aside. We just have Clara on your lap, and we are going to hammer out words until something happens. But it definitely feels more comfortable to lie down on the couch and slam out words. That's basically all I'm trying to say at this point. Uh, but yeah, I am honestly looking forward to just chilling out for the rest of the evening. I know I say that all the time, but I don't know. I'm tired constantly, and it's not like any physical thing. I'm just tired. But well, it's more. It is a little bit of a physical thing in the sense that I definitely need breaks. But you know, oop. All right, done. Let's see. Where did we stop? There it is. Yeah, see, that's a lot better than where we were beforehand, which was kind of struggling to get along with only 100 some words. Uh, I think it's good to set aside time if you do want to be a writer, at least every single day. I know there's advice out there that's sort of like, don't do that because you should, all writing is valid. And yes, absolutely. But also, if you don't write, then that's the only way that you're not really a writer. And I've known people, especially on Tumblr, who would be like, I have not written in months and months, and I wish I could get over this writer's block, but I never can seem to do so. And I'm like, well, that's because you don't actually write. Like, you're not doing anything. You're just sort of sitting there and hoping inspiration will come to you. And sometimes you have to really wrestle yourself into having inspiration. Like, even if it's a stream of consciousness, write every single day a little bit at a time, or at least every single week, every few days, ideally. Because if you don't, like I said, you will just end up in a hole where you don't do anything. And that dream of you completing something will never come to fruition. So that is something that I'm trying to do. I don't always have that ability because there's always something going on, be it at work or socially. But I will make it a point to, at least once a week, sit down. I just need to do it more often on my days off. Uh, and also, I need to do some better time management at work, but I say that knowing that it's not just like me that's the problem. It's like the way that my job is designed, we are just meant to be driven into the ground, and we just kind of have to accept it. And it sucks, but it is what it is. It makes you money. But, and you gotta do what you gotta do. But, in any case, let me finish off this sentence while we're waiting for the next break. You, meanwhile, should take breaks. So if you're listening right now and you have written for that solid 20 minutes, get up, walk around, get some tea or something like that. Just, like, take care of yourself. Cryptic says, my headphones died for a second there. Totally. It seems like you need to charge all the things. That might be a thing that's in order for you. There we go. Clear file. There we go. That reminds me, I also need to place an order for new headphones on my end because mine have... So the ones I'm using right this second need new pads because the pad fell off of one of the the sides of this one, but it's still working, so I'm not replacing it. What I am replacing are the headphones I use for my walkabouts. Unfortunately, one of the arms snapped on it, so they're sport headphones, so they kind of need those alarms. And also, it's been kind of lowering in quality to the point where I can't actually hear anything through them, so I feel like now's a good time to do it. They're ages old, so it's probably for the best. But it's sort of like, I really don't want to keep on spending money, especially on small things. But then again, I also tell myself that as long as I'm not getting packages every day like a certain dipshit, then I should be fine. And honestly, I'm not buying as much as I think I am. Like, I checked my balance that I had incurred for the past couple of days of running around the city, and it's not really anything. It's like $100 at most. So, which is really good for New York City, and considering the fact that I include a grocery bill on somewhere on there. But still, I feel like we've listened to this song like several times over. So let me see if there are any other. Let's see about changing up this playlist, shall we? Where is it right now? Oh. Have we cycled through it, in fact? Yeah. Alright, Tranquil Wonderland, Spooky Meadows, Springtime Awakening. How's this? That one's kind of a jam. Ooh, Uplifting Spirit Infusion. Rainy Day Incantations. Lo-Fi Girl. How's this? Oh, actually, I like this jam. Cryptic says, I'm usually much better about it. I'm just kind of tired today. Totally understandable. How was your day anyway? Meanwhile, allow me to do a little bit of a mix. Let's see. Maybe a little bit of rain. Oh, that feels good to the ears. A little bit of rumbling thunder. A little bit less thunder, actually. We need something else. Maybe some ambient chatter? I love this game entirely too much. It is just like the perfect soundscape in general. Oh, that's good. Now it feels like we're in like a little cafe of some kind. There we go. Yeah, that takes care of the itching. A little bit of keyboard typing too. Oh, listen to that ASMR. Fuck yeah, this is getting all the jams sorted. I like this. Alright. That having been said, we have 20 minutes on the last clock, so I wish y'all the best of luck. Get ready, get set, And here we go.
ignore these oddities and outgoings.
Sorry about that. I hit the wrong button for this. And that is the last of our run. How did we do? Let me just move back to my document, plug in, and let her rip. I kind of zoned out at the end there, I do admit. So that would be... How much I did would be an excellent question. Probably not that much. But anyway, while this is going, I suppose I'll outline the official schedule. So as I mentioned, the next couple of days are going to be a little bit busy. Tomorrow's D&D session campaign, and the day after is going to be work. So it's very unlikely that there will be another stream between now and Saturday morning. Whether or not there will be a Saturday evening stream has yet to be determined. The morning streams tend to run for a little bit longer than these are going now. We go for 4 sprints, not just 3. So there's a possibility that there might not be another stream, but we'll see. After that, I am going to be heading out of town on Tuesday. So that means that there will be no stream whatsoever on Wednesday and Saturday. And we have finished with the import that is only 286 words. I have written like shit this fine evening, but that is a-okay. We forgive ourselves here, especially if we are not up for it, you know? I am proud that I've made any sort of progress whatsoever. Why is LinkedIn... can I ask y'all a question? Why is LinkedIn now, like, harassing me about games that my connections are playing? Like, I swear to God, LinkedIn is basically just Facebook in 2012. But it sucks because, you know, if you want to get another job, you have to be on it, so there's that. I barely use it for anything else other than the job board. But anyway, getting back to the schedule, nothing from Tuesday onwards. So that's Tuesday through Sunday. Well, I'm going to be with my family, and therefore, nope. That having been said, like I said, the only possible other streams that we'll have this week might be on Saturday or Sunday. Keep an eye on my Blue Sky at jackswolfwrites.bsky.social for any announcements. You can just hit the bell right here on YouTube, but I don't actually use the community functions there. So the only time, and I also don't really schedule streams. I probably should if I'm going to be consistent about it, but I just don't. So long story short, you will not actually hear about streams if you just hit the subscribe bell right here on YouTube until I start a stream. So definitely go on Blue Sky and follow me there. That'll be your easiest way to figure things out. As for after I come back, that will be the first week that I'll be back. So we're going to be facing down work, and I am coming back on a Sunday. So there will be no time but work. And it will be basically from Monday, so basically the first day that you will see me back will be Wednesday the 4th. So that is Wednesday, February 4th will be the next full night rights, starting at 8:30 and running until whenever. And then we'll be back to Saturday morning streams on the 7th. That is February 7th. From 8:30 a.m. till whenever. Don't forget that there is another stream that's going to be happening on the 24th. That is this coming Saturday from 8:30 to whenever. I will also say that the stream on the 7th will probably be a little bit truncated because it is first Saturday. That is the Ingress event that I usually attend. There hasn't been any word that we're having one this coming Saturday, but you know, you keep your options open. You never know. Anyway, that is about it. Cryptic says, I had a bowl of popcorn and chilled. That is totally a-okay. And also in response to LinkedIn, I don't know, I don't use it. That is also totally a-okay. It's more of a question for anybody who actually does use it, to be honest with you. Because it's a very unusual and bizarre place. And it is handy if you're looking for a job. That's about it. Anyway, that's basically all I've got to say for tonight. I am going to unplug Clara and let my thoughts percolate. It's probably going to be that I import a lot of the old chapter into the old couple of chapters because I can foresee this being like half of one chapter and part of the next. It has two different scenes. The first two scene are in the book, but it should be fun. We're gonna see how things go. But I do want to let myself rest and see if there's anything else I can do with this part of the scene. So I am unplugging Clara and basically logging off. I need to recharge my headset and chill out. But that having been said, again, next time you see me, it will be... there we go. It will be this coming Saturday, 8:30 a.m. until whenever. Other than that, I do hope that y'all have an excellent rest of your week. Thank you all for coming in and chilling out with me tonight. Hopefully you got plenty of stuff done, even if it's just chilling, doing whatever. But in the meantime, for sure, take care of yourselves, love yourselves, get plenty of rest, get plenty of water, and know that I love ya. Alright, take care.